Good morning, everybody. I'm Jesse with Green Chick Gardens, and I am out here at about 4 o'clock in the morning because it appears to be the only time I can get anything done. So we've got a lot to do today. It's going to be kind of a random, figure it out as we go kind of day. Might be some chores, might be slightly some tours of some new plants we've got in, but let's just go ahead and get into it. Alright, so first thing we want to do this morning, and I've been meaning to do it for 2 weeks now probably, is I have a dragon. This is just reverted, just a regular green golden dragon, but it has grown considerably. If I can find a video from a previous video of this one, I'll show it right here because this thing has just taken off like crazy. It drinks a ton of water. I've got to refill this reservoir seriously like every 2 days. And it has definitely outgrown this pot. I'll show you in a second. But the growth rate of this one has just been alarming. It's been pretty crazy. And I had Michael McCarthy had commented on a video, was talking about using these cheaper pots for your net pot essentially, just because you could cut it if you needed to. This one's probably going to need to be cut. I'm going to show you the roots on this thing, and it's quite crazy. Look at all those roots. This thing's gone bananas. And so we're going to try and figure out how to get it out of this pot. I'll probably have to destroy this pot, which is why thank you, Michael. I'll probably start using those other pots in as many as I can. They're cheaper, they'll still get the job done, and they're easier to cut and less expensive to cut. But I guess this is gonna be the first thing we do today, so I'm gonna kind of look at this thing and figure out how I'm gonna get it out of this pot. Alright, so we got stage 1 done there. Just basically cut the bottom out of this pot. Definitely damaged a couple roots, not the biggest of deals. If you really wanted to, you probably could have just cut all these off and this plant would have been completely fine. But this is going to be my own plant, and I just want to see how big I can get it. So the more roots I can keep, the quicker that's going to happen. Alright, that'll be much easier now. I've been able to separate this, so I can cut around some of these roots real quick, and she should be out of here in no time. Alright, we got it done. See if I can show you this root ball. Look at that. That is a solid root mass right there. That's pretty wild. Gotta say. So we're definitely gonna put this in a larger pot. And I'm gonna, don't exactly know what kind of larger pot we've got that we'll be working with here, but I'll probably find one real quick and I'll be right back. All right, so we're gonna use just a regular 1 gallon pot that I have in a just cut some slits in it just for a little bit more breathability. And we're gonna get our leca and we're gonna fill this thing up. So here are the roots on this one. Like I said, man, that's just crazy. Also, the wick is still in here. This is the wick. And it is pretty much just straight grown into this root ball, so we're not even gonna worry about it. I'm just gonna leave it in there. So we'll put a little bit of leca in the bottom. See how far we need to go down with our plant. That looks pretty good. About like that right there. I want to put it pretty deep because it was already growing quite quickly. Basically jumping out of the pot. That's how to give this guy plenty of room to keep on growing. And like I said, he's been growing crazy. I bet he's been putting on a new leaf every, I'd say around 2.5 weeks, we get a new leaf. And that's quite quick on your philodendrons. Tap it in. Make sure he's sturdy. And then just like that, we're done. So here is our new pot for our plant. See, I buried it pretty deep in there, trying to get this a little sturdier. It was sitting up pretty high in the old pot, and it was just getting a little top heavy. So I wanted to make it a little bit more sturdy. That way we can sit it and not worry about it as much. Top that off just a bit more. And that's it. But this is a beautiful, beautiful leaf. I love the golden dragons. I think they have such a beautiful leaf shape. And man, I have noticed they're pretty vigorous growers. They love their water. And once they establish, they take off growing quick. So that's the first one today. I just wanted to show you the progress on the roots on this one. Quite wild. And I'm definitely happy about this one. This one's growing like a champ. So we're going to put this one in a water reservoir tray, and then we'll get on to the next thing. All right, speaking of large plants, I don't know if you've noticed the one directly behind me. I got it in a couple days ago, and it is another dragon, but it is an Albo variegated one, and it is massive. It is the biggest dragon I've ever seen. Look at the leaf on this. That's right by me. I measured this leaf from tip to tip is right at 2 foot, 24 inches. And it is huge. Beautiful. There's the newest growth. Where's it at? Right there. And I haven't even unwrapped this one all the way, so I figured we might as well get to that while we're here. I was trying to fit this whole thing in a frame, but that's just not going to happen. So I'll just go ahead and start unpacking this thing. And like I said, if this thing gets established here and it's anything like the other one that we just repotted, holy cow, I can't imagine how big the leaves on this will be. I mean, the leaves are seriously, that's massive. It's a beautiful plant. All the leaves have at least a bit of variegation. And I've noticed a lot of them have, when it comes to the Albo dragons, you're gonna get, you know, your white variegation, but you also get this kind of light, super light green variegation. That's my favorite kind of variegation on these dragons. One thing to look out for with dragons is all green leaves. That's just, will definitely give you the potential of reversion on dragons. They're just kind of fickle. Sometimes they'll just completely revert on you. If you get cuttings, say you want to, you know, get a little bit of a cheaper one, jump in at a cheaper price point, you can get a cutting off of an Albo dragon. Unless you saw the growth point, and it's already active, so you can kind of see that white variegation in the growth point. These are also a little tricky to propagate. You can easily get reverted all green Albo dragons. They won't be Albo at that point, but just like the last one we did, that was a cutting off of an Albo dragon mother, and it was completely green. I've had at least 3 other cuttings that have been reverted, just went all the way back to green. So when you're looking for a dragon, you want to make sure you see a good growth point with some variegation on it. And if you're going to buy a whole plant, see if that plant has variegation on each leaf. Just because at that point, you know, you're a little bit more on the safe side of, hey, this thing's got pretty good variegation, and the chances of it reverting are a bit smaller than they would be otherwise. All right, so that is that. There is the new growth point right there, already coming out, and it's got roots coming out the bottom already here. This is just a beautiful plant. This one will probably be up on the Etsy site as well at some point. Just because this thing's huge, couldn't have too many of these in the greenhouse, or we wouldn't have any more room. So beautiful plant, beautiful plant. I'm glad we finally got her out so she can breathe a little better. And just a super massive leaf. I just wanted to show you how big this leaf truly was. All right, next plant up for a little bit of maintenance is an Albo Monstera. And I just wanted to show this one to show you that just because that's a beautiful variegated leaf. That was the first leaf that came off of this one. Actually, I believe this was the cutting leaf. And then the next leaf it put out, all green. And that's kind of a bummer. And so I know a lot of people say when you get that all green leaf, you know, look out, it's probably reverted and it won't come back. Just cleaning this leaf off a little bit. Gets dusty out here. But the next leaf out was this beautiful, beautiful new variegated leaf with a lot of fenestration going on, and the newest growth is already popping out as well, and it's got variegation on it too. So we're back in business with this one, and that is just a beautiful leaf. I'm actually thrilled with this one. This one went from close to last place in my book, and it's back in the race for top spot with a beautiful leaf like that. So just because it throws out a non-variegated leaf doesn't always mean you're, you know, out of luck. It can come back just like this one did right here, and it put out a whopper of a leaf. That's a beautiful leaf. The other one's already coming out. It'll probably be out within, I'd say, a week. And this one is in LECA as well. And look at the roots on that. This one's growing like crazy as well. I'm telling you, there's something to this LECA. I don't really have to do much. I just put water in. I put fertilizer in every 2-3 weeks when I think about it. And just make sure the water reservoir stays decently wet. Right now this one is quite gross, and there's just barely any water left in there, but it's enough for now. It's got enough moisture in it. But hey, I'm telling you, try out the LECA, guys. So while we're at it, I just figured it might be easier to just kind of walk over here and show you some of the stuff we got growing on. This is the one I was just talking about. And I actually did see there is a bit of variegation right there, if you can see that. So this one wasn't all the way green, but it was pretty green. And then this was the newest leaf it came out with. Absolute beauty. And you can see that newest leaf right there is Definitely got variegation to it, so we'll see how it comes out. While we're over here, we will show you my mint monstera that was just a beauty. Love these leaves, love this leaf. This was my favorite leaf in the greenhouse. And it started out like that. The next leaf to come out was this beautiful, gorgeous leaf right here. And then it went all white, and I don't know if this is a good thing or not. I don't know if we'll kind of get some mintiness in there. You can see on the stem there is some green. This newest leaf about to come out is all white as well. But if I turn it to the back, you can see the stem on our newest leaf indeed has some green growing right here. And so we've got a chance for some green to come back on that. So we're just gonna let it keep growing. And this one's doing great too. Show you the roots on that. Oh, this well is dry, so I need to put a little water in there. But this one's growing great as well. And this one's gonna look beautiful. And we'll see if we can get some green to come back out on that one. While we're over here in this corner, I thought I'd show you guys it's essentially like a misting chamber. And I use this for cuttings of certain plants, monsteras. I don't know if I've honestly put very many philodendrons in there. There's a couple in there, but definitely syngoniums. And what else do I got? There's a lot of syngoniums in here right now, but I use it for monsteras a good bit. If you have problems with trying to get cuttings to root, say you get root rot when you're sitting them in water or anything like that, maybe try one of these out. Basically what it is a chamber underneath here. I lift up there. And you've got this mister down here in the bottom. And it just sprays the top of these roots with water. So you're getting tons of oxygen, which obviously you need, but you're also getting 100% moisture going on all the time. Here is a Thai constellation that was just not doing that great. And I have stuck it in here, and this is after about a week and a half probably. Look at all that growth. This one hasn't started to grow yet. That is a pink princess. But the syngoniums grow great, and they're all putting out new roots. You can just see all those roots over there. There's a syngonium chiapince right there. That's its newest root that it's throwing out. A lot of growth points on that for the roots. And this one far back here is a monstera that I just was not getting anywhere with, so I just stuck it in here. And it's still a little bitty leaf on this monstera, but the root growth was very nice. So just an option for some of you out there who might not have the most success with rooting your stuff in water. Maybe get a little bit of oxygen in there with like a mist chamber, and it might help it thrive a lot more. I don't seem to have too many problems with root rot or anything like that in these, and I get roots rather quickly. If you had a humidity dome on top of this, I think it would go honestly much quicker. This didn't come with one, but some of the ones I've saw on Amazon do, and I would recommend it if you find one. All right, next up we're going to show a couple Alocasias. I had a video where I unboxed pretty much all these Alocasias. I have some others, but I think I'll only be showing the ones from that video, so you can go watch it if you want and see the progress in this. I'll probably put a clip in here of this one in particular. This is the Stingray Aria, and it's a little hard to show. I don't want to move this too much. I'll bring the camera over here. So this is the Stingray Aria, and this one is looking good. Look at all this variegation. Tons of leaves on this one. And how many leaves do we have on there? 2, 4, we got 6. This looks to be the oldest leaf. It's starting to yellow up, and it'll probably be on its way out before too long. But man, the variegation on this is electric. I love it. And this one is putting out leaves. I mean, I'd say once a week you're getting a new leaf. Maybe a week and a half to 2 weeks. But it seems like it flies by to me, and every time I come out here, there's always another leaf growing. This is a beautiful, beautiful plant though. I recently repotted it into a larger size pot. I had it in this size pot, and it was already growing through the net pot, so I needed to put it in a bigger one. I really was surprised I got no corms out of this, just because of how large it already is. But maybe in the future we will. I mean, I didn't see any, but the root growth was crazy. It had already filled up the whole net pot, and so we put it in a larger pot. Maybe that'll help us get to the corming stage on this plant. It's a beautiful plant though, and I am thrilled with the growth we've had on this one. Nothing but good things to say about this Alocasia. I've had none of the trickiness that Alocasias can sometimes bring. But this one is great. I'm on the hunt for an Albo Stingray. So if anybody out there has one and it's got some corms or maybe a small baby, hit me up. Speaking of Alocasias, our Venom has put out a new leaf, and holy cow. I'm gonna put this camera in the light so you can see how crazy this plant looks. Look at this newest leaf. That is out of this world. And it's rather big. That's quite big. There's the third newest leaf, I believe. This was the one we've showed in a video before of this one hardening off. And this one is just much larger. And man, this is such a nifty, nifty, is that the word I want to use? I suppose so. Such a nifty looking plant. And this one's been growing great too. There could be some corms in there. I know when I first repotted this, when I got it, there was a corm in it. Honestly, would have figured it had been popped through the surface here, but it hasn't yet. But we're gonna leave it alone for a while anyways. We're still trying to get these Alocasias established in the greenhouse, especially with the changing environment as the spring has come on. It's got a little warmer. But man, that's just an awesome Alocasia. You still don't see too many of these. It's super unique. While we're right here, I'll show you this Albo Lauterbachia Alocasia. And it put out an all white leaf, and that'll eventually brown up, you know, but this is the newest leaf, and it's a very beautiful variegated leaf. This one has got very nice variegation on. I'm very happy with this plant. And I actually have already taken 2 pups. We're growing one on each side here. And I cut them off, and I have those propping in some stratum in the house. And a little bit later here, I'm going to show you what we got going on in the house. And I'll show you those as well. But I just wanted to let you know, I thought this was interesting. This is a rather small plant still, and this one has already put out 2 growths. And we have the super large Stingray Aria and the Venom, and I've got no corms off of those. And this one has already given me 2 babies, so just kind of goes to show you, you never know. Sometimes the little ones will prop them out, sometimes the big ones won't. I really don't know how the corm process works, when it decides to store energy, when it decides to reproduce, but I find that pretty interesting. Also, when we go into the house, I'll show you some more plant species that I'm getting into. I'm pretty excited about those, and I'll show you what I've got so far. Got some more coming in. But this is a beautiful Lauterbachia, and I've got 2 growing in the house, and those will be for sale eventually once they get a little bit more mature as well. Another plant cuttings that we did in a video a long time ago, or at least it feels like a long time ago, it was probably 4 months ago maybe, was we took some cuttings from a Pathos Enjoy and put them in a pot. And I'll show video of the little baby cuttings when they were just put in a pot. And this is it today. It's grown quite quickly. Got some great growth growing on this one, and it's starting to trail down. which is exactly what I wanted it to do. Got a lot of growth points going. And this was probably 6-7 cuttings, I don't really remember. But they have done great, and this one will definitely be going in the house someday. Hopefully we might even chop back in a couple places and stick more cuttings in there. Just because I want more weeping going. I want a lot of this all around, kind of filling it as it falls over. But I just wanted to show an update on this one. This one's growing great, and it's just fun to see the difference in you know, a couple months from little baby cuttings to a plant in the pot. Next up is a rather exciting update from me. It's my ocean spray. Some people call it ocean mint as well, but this is the main plant I have, and it's got that beautiful variegation all over it. Sorry about the lighting, it's still dark out, but this isn't the one I want to talk about. This is the one I've showed videos of before, especially with the new growth. This is the bottom cutting that we took, and let me get in here with the camera and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So this is the bottom cut that I took from our big old chunk of ocean spray, and you can tell it had that variegation. But one thing I've learned with these is these are so contorted, the leaves. It's also called Monstera deliciosa contorta ocean spray, but it has a hard time getting its leaves out sometimes, and you'll see this damage from it just not being able to unfurl correctly. But there was a little bit of variegation here, and then next leaf out, this is an ugly leaf. Next leaf out was no variegation as we continued on. This one I tried to help unfurl, and as you can see, all I did was kind of hurt it, but also contorted, but no variegation. And at that point I was starting to think, oh man, did we lost all the variegation. Well, the newest leaf out has finally sized up and looks, you know, more like a Monstera leaf. And as you can see up here, we have some variegation. So this is looking more like a Monstera, and let me see if I can show you. Right there is the new growth point, and there is indeed some variegation real close to it there. I don't know how variegated that's going to be, but we'll see. But at least we've got some hope going, and this one indeed did have some variegation, so we're excited about that. And I'm very excited to see what this new growth will look like once we get there. Here is another beauty of an Alocasia that we had got in that Alocasia haul. This is the Yucatan Princess, and this is another one that has just been growing like wildfire. I mean, these things grow so quickly. Look, there's another leaf that's already about to unfurl. This one hasn't even hardened off all the way yet. But the variegation is great on these. I love the Yucatans. This is a bit of an older leaf. It's been growing so quick that it's actually splitting. You can see that one is just splitting in half there. This one pretty much is already split in half and has just fallen off. But look at these new leaves, and they've got great variegation. Beautiful, beautiful plants. All of them are super variegated. We'll see how that one turns out. But what a beautiful plant. I love the Yucatan Princess. And like I said, this one has just been growing like crazy. I haven't checked it again to see if it had new corms. This is one of the, well, I think this might be the only one we did get corms off of when we went corm hunting a couple weeks ago. Actually, I need to check on when that was, because I'll show you here in a little while when we go inside. We've got some updates on the corms from that hunting expedition. But this is a Yucatan Princess. I'm going to show you one more while we're here. This is the Serendipity. And I actually just cut its old leaves off because they look about like that, and that's quite ugly. But the newest leaves are beautiful, and they've had so much more variegation than the old leaves, the leaves it came with. I've been interested in why they've been so much more variegated. But you can see this newest leaf is also going to have great variegation on it, so I'm pumped to see it. This is another one. that has been growing great, and I haven't saw any corms on the side, but I'd be interested to see if this one had corms at this point. But another beautiful Alocasia we got, and man, these things have really been thriving here. I don't exactly know why, but man, they've been growing like crazy. Okay, last thing here in the greenhouse, and then we'll go inside. This is the newest Monstera leaf on just one of the Monsteras we have here in the greenhouse. This one is one of the better variegated ones, but look at this new leaf. I thought I had a unique leaf shape to it. It just didn't seem to be like my other Monsteras. I don't know exactly what I find unique about it. I don't know if it's this bottom part that comes in quickly. It just seemed to have a unique leaf, but it's also very beautiful. Got great variegation on it. And I want to see once this one matures up. And look at that, we've already got new growth coming out right there. And so I want to see what the next couple leaves look like. And if the leaf shape seems different on these, here I got one over here. It's also coming out. And this just seems more of an accurate Monstera leaf shape to me. Maybe I'm just imagining things, but this one just looks a little different. I don't know. If you think so too, comment. Maybe tell me what you think's different about it. Or just tell me that I'm making it up. But I just wanted to show that one as well. We're about to go inside, and I'm going to show you some of the stuff we got growing in our plant room. All right, here is the plant room inside. I gotta talk quietly so I don't wake Nora up. But these are aquariums I turned on their side and just put a piece of plexiglass basically to keep in the humidity. And I've got this one. I've got this one down here. And we have one up here as well with a couple things in it. There's the begonias that I've got. And I just wanted to walk you through a couple of these and show you just some progress some of the stuff in here is making. Here's the two Lauterbachia corms that or baby pups that I got off of ours. You can already tell that one is going to be variegated. It's got some Albo variegation on it already. This one is just unfurling. I couldn't tell you whether it'll be variegated or not, but both of these have grown super quick since I've got them in here in a bit of stratum. And here we've got the Yucatan Princess. This is from one of the corms we collected, and it's already growing great. Got a bit of variegation there, and the newest leaf is already starting to come out as well. This one's just rooting like wildfire in here, and I'm pleased with it. I still have one that hasn't sprouted, and then I have one more that is just about to put out its first leaf there, and as you can see, it's rooting as well. So pretty pleased with these as well. This is the pink black velvet, and holy smokes, it is beautiful. This is one of the best variegated pink black velvets I've ever seen. Look at this newest leaf coming out. I'm excited to see what that looks like. But this one is just beautiful, and I want to see this one size up because, man, I think this will be one heck of a specimen. And we've got a lot of the Black Velvet Ninja variegated TCs acclimating. We've got some variegated Billietier and some Bambinos back there as well, and a couple random cuttings of other things we've got growing as well. There's some Friedic variegated babies. There is some Red Ferrari Aureomicans rooting in sphagnum. There's another one. This is my mother. There is a mint Monstera. This is a dragon scale that has not seemed to be variegated yet. We'll see if we get any new growth with some variegation. Here is the last two Fire Princess cuttings that I have. They are rooting in some sphagnum right now, and they're doing all right. Show you this other one. You can see the root right there starting to grow, and so hopefully these will the nodes will start to swell on these for too long, and we'll get something going. While we're in here, I'll show you this. This is the mint that we took a cutting of, and so far so good. We got a little bit of mint variegation there. This newest one coming out is going to be really variegated, which I'm super pleased with. So hopefully we will end up with a mint Burley Marks here. While we're here, we got a true pink Micans right there. Very beautiful plant. Last but not least, I'll show you some of these begonias I got growing in here. The lights are a little funky. Well, it's finally starting to get light out here. It's about 5:30 or so. Sorry I had to be so quiet there inside. Nora's still asleep, and I would probably get in trouble if I woke her up at 5:30 in the morning. We'll do a video of all that stuff again at a different time when I can use my regular voice. I didn't get any good video of the begonias, and we'll do that again at a different time as well. I got a couple more coming in, so might as well wait, and I can kind of show you all the stuff we got going there once we got them all in. But anyways, that's going to do it for today. This pretty much just turned into a plant tour video. I planned on doing a little bit more plant chores, but honestly, I just got into checking out each plant and wanting to update you guys on how they were all doing. They're all doing great. We've got super great root growth going on everything. We're starting to really see it up top as we're starting to get leaves a good bit quicker. And, you know, that's what we're all about anyways. We want to see the visual of the top. But, of course, you got to get the bottom before you can get the top going good. So, everything's growing great here. Sorry about skipping a video last weekend. I was just super busy. I will get back on schedule. And I'll be bringing out a couple new videos here before too long. Guys, remember to like and subscribe. And if you got any comments about anything, put it down below. Feel free to talk to me. I'm a pretty easygoing fella, and I'll definitely get back to you. I'm Jesse with Green Chick Gardens, and I will see you guys next time.